Chapter 2 of the How to Sell Homes for Top Dollar. We're talking about the first steps to selling your home. So I just want to make a couple of quick points here in this video. Then you can read through the chapter and ask any questions that you have. I'll use your questions to record more videos, clarify things, update the material, and make it more useful for you and future readers. But just pointing out here in this first section as you're figuring out how to price your home, how much your home is worth, how much you can get out of it, we're going to be talking about the 4 points of use. There is how much you want to sell it for, the price you think it's worth. There's how much the buyers think it's worth, how much they want to pay for it. There's the appraiser's value, which is how much the bank thinks it's worth and how much they can loan against the property that they're using as collateral. And then there is the assessed value, which is how much Uncle Sam thinks your home is worth and should tax you on it. So obviously everybody's got their own opinion. As a seller, you want to get the most out of your home possible, right? You've seen your neighbor Joe selling his house down the street and he got so much money, so you think, wow, it would be pretty cool if I could get the same amount. Maybe you can get more, maybe you can't, but all of that is going to come up in your comparative market analysis. Because no matter who's looking at the price of the home, they're going to compare it against other properties in your neighborhood that are similar to your home. So they're going to look at houses with the same number of bedrooms, same number of bathrooms, same number of amenities and accessories, if it has a pool, if it doesn't. So all of that will be taken into account. So you can ask a real estate agent to help you come up with a comparative market analysis and compare it primarily against homes that have been sold within the last 6 months, because then you'll have an idea of what houses are selling for. Buyers typically won't pay more than the fair market value. If they think it's overpriced, they won't even come in to take a look at it. They won't be interested. So typically you want to price your home so that you get offers within those first 15 days and sell it fast. If the house sits on the market for a long time, then people are going to look, and you have to bring the price down. People are going to look at it as if there's something wrong with it, or you're pricing it too high, so you won't get as much interest. If you price it right at market value, comparative market value, what other homes are going for, you'll get some interest. And obviously, if it's a little bit below market value, you may even get a bidding war going on where people are bidding each other up to give you more money to buy your house, which would be an ideal situation to help you maximize the amount that you sell your home for. But ultimately, like I said, you've got that range where you've got to figure out how much you can list it for to attract attention, get people coming in. Because if a buyer's on the market looking for houses up to $350 and you're pricing yours at $400, their real estate agent may not even show that house to them because it's out of their budget. So those are just things to consider, so that way you can get your house sold quickly and you can get the most amount of money for it. So as you do that comparative market analysis, looking at other homes, how much they've sold for, you can also ask your real estate agent to show you the list of expired homes. So when a seller, a homeowner, wants to sell their home and they list it with a real estate agent, and that home does not sell within 6 months or so, and that listing expires, you can also have an idea of how much is too much. Those homes that aren't selling, you figure out why they aren't selling, if it's because the price is too high, because the home's not up to par, maybe it needs some renovation, maybe the price is right if the house were up to date, but it's not. So you can look at those things, compare the houses that have been sold within the last 6 months. You can also look at the prices of houses that have not sold to understand what prices are too high, and look at all of those reports to figure out right now, at this moment in time, compared to all the other houses that are selling in your neighborhood, how much you should price yours for. Remember, if you price yours, say, just below the top priced home in your neighborhood, and that sells right away, then your home will be the most expensive home for sale in your neighborhood. So people may start looking at other properties because they're a little bit cheaper. So there was a signing that I did over in Tampa a while back, and I was talking with a gentleman. He said he had looked at several different homes, and they looked at one home that they almost bought, but then at the last minute another home appeared on the market. Their real estate agent showed it to them, and the houses were basically the same price. I think there was a little bit of difference, but not much. But the new home that came on the market had been completely renovated. Everything had been updated. The kitchen had been redone, so it was really nice. So they looked at one, they looked at the other, and they said it's the same price, and this one's a lot nicer. Let's go with this one. So these are all factors to take into consideration, because remember, you're going to look at the comparative market analysis. Your buyers are looking at the comparative market analysis. They want to pay as little as possible, so they're going to try to find the best house for that amount of money that they're willing to spend. And then, of course, the bank, your lender, is going to look at the value of the homes, how much they're worth, so that way, as they're basing the collateral on that home, they don't want to loan more money than the house is worth to the buyer. So if the home is only worth $350,000 based on other comparable homes in that neighborhood, and you're asking $400,000, the buyer wants to buy it, but the bank won't loan them the full $400,000. So they have to come up with that extra $50,000, that gap, to cover the difference between the $350,000 the bank thinks your home is worth and the $400,000 you think it's worth. So either the buyer has to come up with it or look for another house. And then, of course, there's the assessed value. You've got the government looking at the values of homes in the neighborhoods and figuring out what to tax them on. So as you're thinking about the amount that you want to sell your property for, these are all things to take into consideration. So that's what we're talking about in this chapter. Go ahead, read through it, ask your questions, and I will see you in the next section.